Hello and welcome to part 3 of the Learn to Trade series, and in this video we are going to be looking at continuation patterns. Okay, so what we have done so far within the previous 2 videos, we have first of all learnt about the anatomy of a candlestick. In video number 2 we learned to start piecing those candles together to learn about the different types of candles that you do get on a chart, and in this video we're going to go even further, okay, and we're going to start to put these into larger time frame patterns, bigger patterns that can be traded. Okay, now once again, this is still very basic stuff. We are, as I keep saying, we're learning a language here. Okay, so your candlestick anatomy kind of lesson was basically learning your letters. What we had then was we go into the candlestick types, and that gives you your words. Okay, and now we're starting to string those together into little phrases, into little sentences, which are these patterns. Now there is of course a whole lot more that we can trade here, but this is a really good point to start. Okay, to start identifying these patterns, to start knowing whether price is likely to continue or to reverse. And the next video we are going to be looking at reversal patterns, so do watch out for that one. So first of all, okay, we're going to look at our bullish continuation patterns. So on here you have a bull flag. Okay, so this is where price comes up, it starts to create this consolidation area. Okay, so price goes sideways a little bit, in this instance going down slightly within a bit of a channel here. Okay, so a channel is where you have these equal highs and lows, where price is just kind of coming down, its highs and lows are equal distance apart, and then it gets a break out, and again this is your bull flag. So you can see here like a pole of the flag, then you get your flag here, and then you get your continuation out of that. Right next to that you have your descending wedge. Okay, so this similar to the bull flag, but what you're finding is price is starting to get squeezed at the edge. Okay, so it starts off, you have your move up, you have the pole, then you start to come down. Okay, you start to come down and price starts to get squeezed as it gets into the edge. So you have these converging lines that are coming into each other, and then eventually you do get that breakout again to the upside. Once again, you see these patterns, it does increase the probability of continuation. After that, you get your bullish rectangle. Okay, so as we have this flag which is slightly downsloping, this rectangle is just completely parallel. Okay, so completely horizontal. You have a move up, you put in a horizontal pair of price action, and then you just continue that move further. Okay, once again, after that you have, similar to this wedge and also quite similar to this rectangle, a move up that starts to put in a consolidation. Okay, you can see price being squeezed, but the gaps, you're doing this in like a sideways fashion, whereas your wedge is slightly on a downtrend. Okay, you have this little downtrend that happens. Your triangle is very much flat. Okay, you have this high, a low, a high, a low, they're coming together equally. Okay, so the distance between the highs and the lows are converging in on each other at equal distance, and once again you do have this breakout from that. After this, okay, you have a cup and handle. So again, price moves up, it creates this rounded curve at the lows here, testing back up towards these highs before a small rejection and then a continuation. Okay, so you get this structure with the move up, this rounded bottom that starts to form, a little rejection, and then it continues on in that direction. And finally here you have your ascending triangle. Okay, so price is moving up, it then comes into this consolidation. So unlike this triangle or this wedge, the top of this is flat. Okay, so this indicates that the resistance on the chart remains the same. Okay, but price is finding support at higher levels every time. Okay, so it keeps coming up into this resistance, but every time makes a slightly higher low, and eventually that gets squeezed into a point where price cannot go any further. It either has to break down, or the higher probability, because this is a continuation pattern that we are looking at, the higher probability is that this does break up out of this pattern. Okay, now after that, what you obviously have on the flip side is your bearish continuation patterns. So I don't need to go through everything again on here. You have your bear flags, you have your ascending wedges. Okay, so if you see a wedge that is ascending in price action, it does, although price is moving up during this wedge, it does increase the probability that price is going to continue going down lower. Okay, it continues in the direction that price has initially come into it from. Okay, And then you have your bullish, this should say bearish rectangle. This is clearly not a bullish rectangle. That should say bearish rectangle. You have your bearish triangle. You have your cup and handle, obviously, in the other direction. Okay, so coming into support, getting this bounce, having this rounded top formation, then a smaller bounce as it comes into support before continuation. And then again here, you have your descending triangle with this horizontal line of support before eventually breaking down through that. Now, once again, as we've done on the other videos, we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart. And we might have a look at a few of the altcoins as well. And what I'd like to do is just see if, again, we can pause this chart right here, and we can see if there's anything that kind of looks like some kind of, well, what we were saying, these continuation patterns that have formed. Okay, so I'll give it 10 seconds or so. You can pause the video if you want to have another look, and then we'll see if we can find anything. Okay, that's probably enough time. You can pause the video if you need any more on this. Now, again, I haven't done preparation on this, but what we can see, okay, is you can see a few little things. Okay, so what immediately stands out to me is that we have this move up here that then comes down into this kind of flag looking thing. Okay, and what happens afterwards? You get this move up out of this flag to your highs. And now the thing with bull flags, okay, these things aren't perfect, but what you're looking for is you are looking to take the low of the flag, take it up into when you start to get this consolidation. Let's make this a little bit thicker and start to have a look at the structure that you have here. Okay, so we can zoom in on this and we can have a little look at this as being a bit of a bull flag. Okay, so you have your move from your lows to your highs, then you consolidate. And the way that you can start to get target here, so you can see that these lows and highs are fairly equal. Okay, you can kind of put them into this little bit of a channel, consolidate them there. What you're looking for is a move out of this channel, a measured move at that point that is equal to the pole. Okay, so from here, coming up into your consolidation, doing this bull flag, and then you have the move, and look how perfect that actually is on this occasion. Okay, so we have this really nice move up where the move up is equal on both sides after this being a consolidation. Okay, so that's a really nice example there of a bull flag that we did have on the Bitcoin chart. What we then have, we can go into a slightly lower time frame, because again, these things are often seen on these lower time frames, and we can start to have a look at some other, if we do have anything else on here. Okay, so what we can see here, we have price moving down. Okay, then what happens is you see that there's this support. Okay, so on 3 occasions, now you can see these in slightly different ways, but on 3 occasions price has been hitting into this support area, but on each time it's been making these lower highs. Okay, so what does that give you? This looks to me, in a way, to be one of those descending triangles. Okay, so price is moving down, it bounces, each time making a lower high, increasing the probability that this is going to break and get continuation to the downside. Once again, you can see from here, if you were to do a measured move of this, you can see rough little targets that you would get from this, okay, at this breakdown point. So there's another example of that here. Again, what you can kind of see here is you have this move up. This to me looks almost as if this is finding equal support and resistance. So you see our support here at these lows keeps getting tested. Let's make that horizontal. Keeps getting tested. Our resistance about the same, and then you get that break up out of it. Okay, so it's like this bullish rectangle formation that has formed. Okay, so just another little example on the chart there. And again, we can keep scrolling through, see if we can find a wedge. Okay, let's see if we can find one. So this is a nice example, right? So what do you see from this? Okay, so you see a steep slope coming down just here, but the lows that it's putting in aren't quite as steep, yeah? So what you're finding is that price, on this occasion, has come up into this area. So price moves up. In fact, moves up quite a lot from this area here. Okay, starts to put in this consolidation, making these lower lows and lower highs, but getting squeezed into a point there where eventually it has nowhere more to go. Either this has to increase momentum to the downside because these lows are getting closer in price than these highs are, or it's going to have to break up out of it and start to clear some of this resistance that it has been struggling with recently. And again, what do you see on here? You can see this move up out of here, and eventually the target on these patterns is to take these highs. Okay, now if you would like to know more about these particular patterns as well, then we do have some more information on how exactly you can trade these within the crew membership. So please do, if you would like to check out some of this, like these patterns in a slightly more advanced way, then yeah, feel free to join the Discord, of course, and to take a look at the content that we do have in there. Okay, now let's see if we do have any other examples. So again, here you've got a little one of these. What do we have? Whoops, turn the volume on. What do we have? We have a move up, and then it puts in a bit of a flag. This could almost be a bit of a wedge, and then you have continuation on that. Okay, so you can see on this, I've given you like quite a few bullish examples, haven't I? Let's try and find a bearish example of some continuation on here, with this being the 4-hour chart. Here's a nice example of it. Okay, so what do we see here? A move down, clearly a horizontal movement here, and then you have that move that comes straight out after that. Okay, so once again, do take a look at the charts. You've first of all learned how to read these candles, you've learned how to put them together, and now start to just notice the patterns that they do create. And if you would like to, just start trading these. Okay, these are, again, in order to trade these patterns, there are certain theories that you will need to be looking at. So we do go into that in more detail within our Discord community, like I did say. And of course, I will be making another video on this that does go into a bit more detail on this. But for now, that was your continuation patterns. If you are just beginning off trading these, then do just, of course, here's another one. Take a look, see what you can spot on the chart, and just start to train your eye to start to notice these patterns. And that's really, again, you are taking your letters, okay, your candles, putting them into words, and now we're starting to form sentences here. Okay, starting to get an idea of how this price is moving and how you can start to notice these repeating patterns that keep playing out, and start to then use that information to gain an edge on the market, to learn how to actually trade this stuff. So we're getting there. Okay, so what we're going to look at in the next video is our reversal patterns. So we have looked at patterns that do create continuation in price. Okay, what we're going to do in the next video is look at what can create a reversal in price. Okay, so you see little reversal out of here. We're going to start to look at those, and yeah, after that we will we'll go into this in a little bit more detail. So thank you very much for watching once again, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video where we will be looking at reversal patterns. Thank you and goodbye.